Once again, hello remotepreneurs, it's your host Philip Will. In this video, I'm going to explain you the second sales remote tip that I shared in the ebook. And I'm going to dive deep now in the presentation and just go and explain a little bit more deeply what I mean and why it's important. Now, on the previous video, I did talk a little bit about activating your power base. Why is it important, the people that you have influence, to actually present your product and service, ask for a sale, or at least maybe get a referral? Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about the second step mentioned in the ebook that you have from me. It's the importance of follow-up. Now, before I get into it, once again, I would invite you and remind you that I'm running a contest. Anybody that actually leaves a review on Apple Podcast and then screenshot and send it to @remotepreneurs on Instagram or any social media, I'm going to give you 15 minutes of my time and talk a little bit about your sales situation, how you can improve your sales game. Okay? So let's go into the presentation and talk a little bit why follow-up is important. I'm sure you heard everybody talking about follow-up. It's really important, but let's see why it's important. First of all, follow-up, it's an activity or attempt to finish a task. What's our task in sales? Our task is to close the business, get paid, and go to the next sale. So that's the main reason in sales. Close the business. Nothing else. Well, nothing else actually matters. So here is the stats, really interesting stats. It says that only 2% of people actually buy on the first contact. Then 3% on the second contact, 5% happen after third contact, 10% after fourth, and the majority, the lion's share of sales happen between 5th and 12th contact. So why is that important? If you're like most salespeople thinking that you're going to close the business on the first sale, you're missing 98% of the market, because only 2% of the people are going to buy. And with all the distractions and all the offers there on the internet, I mean, you can imagine why. There is a fatigue of sales and people need to see you, heard about you at least 5 to 12 times to actually decide to go with your business and buy your product or services. So that's why following up, it's really important, just to stay on top of mind and remind them of your values and why they should buy. And as I mentioned, 80% of the sales happen after 5th to 12th contact. So you need to have a game plan to have at least 5 to 12 touches. So follow up. That's the name of the game in sales. What's my action tip? My action tip is to set up and think about the perfect follow-up process with schedule. What happens on day 0, what happens on day 1, on day 3, on day 5, what messages you're going to send, and please do not sound like a broken record. Are you ready to buy? Are you ready to buy? Are you ready to buy? I mean, that will not work. You do need to be creative with your follow-up game. So send one message, then provide some kind of case study, ebook. I don't know exactly what you're in your business, but you definitely need to build a follow-up system and at least make the follow-up to be at least 5 times. At least 5 times before you quit. Don't do 1 or 3. Just do at least 5 to 12 times, or 12 touches would be perfect. Don't do it 1. Okay? Here is an example why follow-up works with real examples from the deals that I actually closed. Now, as you can see, Carol, I previously tried to close him, but it didn't work. And then I made a calendar note to actually, schedule Christmas. So previously connected with the previous step, activating your power base. Carol entered my list and he's a part of my power base that we actually discuss about the business. He's one of the unsold. So it was simple mention, like Merry Christmas, have a great time, etc. He responded back, no deal. So I didn't ask for the sale. Then January 15th, he remembered me and he asked me directly like, hey, do you provide email script as well? Yes, sir. I didn't close the business right away. We discussed about pricing, ask for the sale. Would you like to move forward? That's my favorite line. He didn't budge. I provided him value. He didn't like the package that I did, so I created a little bit different package. And then January 21st, I'm out of budget, the regular bullshit. I stay in touch, again follow up, and again he says he's not ready now. He has additional questions, and on February 8th, I closed him for $80. It was simple 1 hour job, so it's not bad to earn $80 in 1 hour, right? It's a follow-up, and then after that he actually bought another package, a little bit higher, obviously. But that's how it goes. I started previously, I think November, October with him. He didn't budge, but I closed him in early February. So the name of the game is follow-up, follow-up, follow-up. Again, action step. Set up your follow-up process, write down the templates that you're going to use and know exactly what you're going to say. And at least try 5 times, at least before quitting. Don't do one, it won't work. At least 5 times and provide value each time and be creative. Now, once again, I would like to remind you that I'm running a contest for everybody that actually leaves me a written review on Apple Podcast. I'm going to provide 15 minutes of my time and talk about a little bit about your sales experience, sales difficulties, etc., and try to build your perfect sales process. So please rate, review, subscribe, especially on the Apple Podcast, and the contest is simple and it's valid for Apple podcast because it's important to rate in the algorithm. First part is go on the Apple Podcast, find Remotepreneurs with Philip Wilstankowski, write a review, send a screenshot from your review at Remotepreneurs on Instagram, and then we will schedule a 15-minute free consulting call with me. Once again, this is the Instagram story, and I look forward to hear what happened after your follow-ups and activating your power base. The next video is going to be for the third step that we're going to discuss in the ebook. And once again, thank you for being subscribed to my newsletter, and I hope you follow me on my podcast. Okay? See you next day.